Hello and welcome to the West Yorkshire Football Show. We're here for instant post-match reaction to Leeds United 0, Fulham 1. About 10 minutes after full time, 10 minutes after Gabby Goodmanson's own goal, which gave Fulham a very, very, in my opinion, richly undeserved win. 3 points for Fulham today. Absolutely devastated for the boys, devastated for Leeds today. I thought we were pretty much perfect. You know, how we approached the game, how we set up. Better team, had the better chances, and then football just kicks you in the arse, you know, when you least suspect it. A freak of an own goal. I mean, you know, a centre forward couldn't hope to head a ball better than that into the back of the net. So harsh on Goodmanson as well, who had such a good game. Jay, I'm struggling with this one. I just think it's so bloody harsh on Leeds this afternoon. Honestly, I can't. It's like I said to you before. You know when we were crap in the Premier League, when we got relegated and we go and lose to Bournemouth 4-0 or whatever it was. It's annoying, but that today, when you've been the better team, when you've fought so hard, tried so hard, and done everything. The least we deserved was a point today. To walk away from that game with nothing after how good we were and how much effort we put in, I'm devastated after that. Honestly, I'm so wound up from that. I can't even tell you.
Yeah, I mean, it should be 3 clean sheets out of 4, shouldn't it? It should be, another point on the board, a point away from home, a point in London, and all the rest of it. I'm dejected. I'm a little bit more level-headed about it than you are, because I'm choosing to kind of feel like this is just sport sometimes. It's just one of them moments. You know, you have freak moments in any sports, don't you? And I feel so sorry for Gabby, because he'll be feeling like the pits today. His team have ran the hearts out to get something from that game, and we were good value for it as well. I'd say for 80 minutes we were the better side, while not being spectacular going forward again, which we can talk about. And the last 10 minutes they get a little bit of impetus in that it's at home, and they bring Kevin on, who does look like a player, real game changer, a bit of a bag of tricks. But I'm choosing to look at the game as the whole. Fulham are going to probably finish on around 50 points, 48 points, something like that, and stay up comfortably. And we're just as good as them, comfortably just as good as them. So, I'm starting to see a pattern in terms of the way that we're playing. Obviously, I'm taking the Arsenal game out of that. I thought even in that, for the first 25 minutes, we were all right. But defensively, we look a real problem to deal with. We're limiting teams to next to nothing. They didn't even have a shot in the first half, Brownie. And I know we didn't have much either, but there's just moments in this final third where if it just clicks, just the right decision or the right pass, and we're going to be in on goal. There were a few moments which I picked out. It's frustrating, mate. It's really, really frustrating. But this point, I don't think, and I hope, and this didn't come back to bite me, won't make or break the season. But the performances and playing like this and staying in games, and forcing established Premier League teams to struggle like that is what's going to keep us up. So I'm choosing to see it as a positive. I thought the tactics were spot on. I thought defensively were really, really good. I thought Pascal were a little bit shaky early, but he came in a couple of.
You were good after that, yeah.
But after that, we were really good. The bank of the three in front of the back four were great. The fullbacks defended excellently. I thought Calvert-Lewin did bits that he needed to do, and I thought Okafor looked more like the part that we're going to need as that bit of X factor. We do need to keep him fit. Like, it's feeling quite essential from an attacking point of view that we keep him available, because without him, it's very, very limited. But yeah, mate, I mean, I'm already, and I'm seeing, I don't know if he watches the show, but I've got a guy on Twitter that I used to work with that I really, really like, actually. I'd consider him a friend, and he was straight on with the Farcow, and I'm like,
I can't even deal with it. Like, this is not about Fark.
You can't watch what we've seen today and give him any criticism. He's I don't think the team is as far off it as some people have made out. I think it's competitive, but ultimately we are at a disadvantage given that we're a newly promoted club and we're finding his feet and all the rest of it. He's making this team extremely difficult to beat, and we really should be sat here now with 5 points on the board, having played two away games in London, also playing Newcastle at home. We really, with 3 clean sheets out of 4. So he deserves so much credit for the way that we played today, I think. So yeah, that's the biggest frustration from today.
Yeah, I agree completely. I think it was such a good performance. Do you know what? And I'm proud of them as well. I'm proud of the team today because the way they competed, and it's just devastating. Longstaff out there today, Calvert-Lewin, Aronson, Goodmanson, all these guys worked so hard to get a point from that, and to have it snatched away like that at the last second is absolutely awful. But and I don't want them to lose confidence from this as well. It's one of those situations where Farker touched on this in the press conference. It's people expect Leeds to not be able to stay up this season, or we're favourites for relegation, etc. It's us against the world, and we just deserved something from that game today. We absolutely deserved something from that game. I mean, if we go back to kind of the lineup as well, Jay, to try and get some semblance of an order to this stream, but I mean, it was a bit of a surprise. It was a bold lineup from Farker today as well. Changes on the wings, both sides. Change up front with Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Obviously, we're all waiting for Bijol. We mentioned it today, and I will say this for Strike. I agree with you. There were a couple of moments where Strike, a couple of bomby passbacks where you're like, mate, what are you doing? You're putting us under pressure. He did a really dopey header at one point, and it kind of put us under a bit of pressure. Apart from that, I thought it was excellent. I thought Strike was absolutely excellent, and I'm here for it. And you know what? Bijol's got a bit of a challenge on his hand to get in the state. Bijol's got a real problem now because, Rodon and if Strike performs like that, and with his capabilities, in terms of, progressive passing, that's a problem for Bijol. That's going to be a real problem for Bijol to get in, because today we've done nothing wrong defensively at all. We've been so good. Ampadu coming back, love it. I mean, Ampadu, this guy's football IQ is on another stratosphere. He's just great, and you're at more ease when Ampadu's in that starting 11. And Aronson, Okafor coming in. But in terms of that lineup, were you happy to see those changes? I mean, that's bold from Farke. I mean, obviously, Farke gets beaten with a stick of, he doesn't make changes, he's got favourites, blah, 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 blah. Well, today we saw, a big change up, and for me, he got it absolutely bang on.
The team was spot on, mate. I mean, I thought Stack had a bit of a meh game, if I'm honest.
Can I just say, just sorry to cut you off. 100%, he was. Some of the work he did was good, but some of the things he was doing today, I was like, get it. Please sort yourself out.
I didn't think he had a great game. I thought his decision making at time were a bit all over. But just to kind of come to your overall point, like the changes were spot on. The midfield 3, I thought, was the absolute right recipe. We actually dominated the midfield battle, and they've got some really good players in there. Sander Berger is a player I really like.
Yeah.
The situation in the attacking front. Yeah, I mean, again, I don't know why I waste my time having the same arguments with people, because the agendas are there. It's like Gav with his Farke agenda. Like, it'll be there regardless. Sorry, Gav, that's just a little needle. But, straight away you go online and you're seeing the Brendan Aronson here. He had a good game today. Like, did he have a great game from a creative point of view? No, he didn't. But that's not what he was there for. He had moments where he, got into offensive areas and did okay. I thought he linked play at times quite well, but defensively he was absolutely excellent. That their left hand side is their dominant area, especially before Kevin came on. I know Kevin actually came on the left, so even when Kevin came on, but that was where they were trying to hurt us. Sessegnon and forgotten who it was.
Was it Iwobi?
Iwobi kind of drifts over there a little bit with somebody else, but Anyway, that was where they were trying to go down, and Brendan just cut it off every time. His work rate was brilliant. The way that he was a part of making sure that we stayed soundly blocked. And if Willie Gnonto had had that game today, nobody would have been saying nothing. You wouldn't hear anything. But because it's Brendan, you do.
Oh, by the way, Willie Gnonto's had 0 final product, by the way, this season so far. And I'm not having a go at Gnonto, who I think has actually started well, and I was a little bit surprised.
Yeah.
He wasn't the next sub before Dan James today. But Gnonto's had 0 end product this season, by the way.
Yeah, I agree. Again, it's just all about how it looks. People kind of get sold to by the fact that Willie Gnonto cuts in a little bit but then passes it back 10 yards. Like, I don't know what it is. It's the same as the Ramazani thing though. Like, just certain players just have this sort of aura with certain fans because they don't really understand what they're looking at. They don't really understand the grand scheme of the game that's going on in front of them. Like, I always sound such an arrogant prick when I say that, but
the fans were chanting for Willie Gnonto. Did you hear the Willie Gnonto chant? Who were a bit where Aronson lost the ball or something, and they were chanting for
It's pathetic. It's genuinely pathetic. Brendan allowed Jayden to get a little bit further forward today as well and get a little bit more involved in the attacks. That can't happen if Brendan's not there. Brendan's probably the best defensive right midfielder out of the 3 of them. He probably is. So it was the right choice.
What I see with Brendan is, the word I use is a pest. Yeah. He's an absolute pest. He's like nipping at the heels of the defenders constantly. His on the ball work is hit and miss. Sometimes it's good. It's like the Gattuso quote. Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. And that's what you get with Brendan on the ball.
Yeah.
And his physicality, it's weird. He's like, because he's so small, he's so nippy, but he can easily just get barged off the ball and he can do it. But he gives like so much, and that press that he does, where you just see him after every single player. I thought it was the perfect kind of role of what we needed today. Someone who was going to close down that space. It couldn't have been any. We didn't need any strollers around there today. And because I've got to say, I mean, you look at Okafor, who, and it's a fascinating kind of dynamic actually, because when you look at Okafor on the ball, far superior to someone like Brendan that we saw, but off the ball compared to Brendan, it's night and day. He's you can see he's not got that same kind of level, and that's fine. He's not that type of player, but it's given toe, isn't it?
Away from home, Brownie, the opposition would prefer to play against Noah Okafor than they would do Brendan Aronson. Let me tell you that now. That is the truth. Like, you're absolutely right. He's a pest, and he will have absolutely done their heading down that side today. He's constant. And I know he's not the best player. He's not. But he offers a certain amount to the bigger picture of getting a point today. I know we didn't get a point, but we should have done. Like, for all intents and purposes, the performance gave us a point today. It reminds me of when we threw the goal in against Sunderland. I know it ended up being no points today instead of 1, and we won that day instead of 3. But it was similar to that. Like, I didn't review that game and the way that we played that day any differently because of the goal that went in with 2 minutes to go. Yeah. It's just one of them things. But in terms of giving the performance the credit that it's due and the players from within that, like, to try and isolate Brendan out as being a problem today is just moronic agenda. You are so trapped in your hatred for whatever, and certain players just do this. It's not even about the fact that he went out on loan or the fact that he's American. It's just players do that, don't they, to certain fans. But yeah, anyway, so move on.
I 100% agree with that, and I think it's time to kind of wake up from that. And no doubt when Jack Harrison came on, people like, what the hell? Where's Gnonto? Where's Gnonto? Where's Gnonto? It's just absolutely bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. I mean, in terms of kind of the midfield, obviously, I mean, a shout out for Longstaff, who I thought was absolutely terrific. Again, it's one of them going, how has this guy not walked away with the point today? I mean, Longstaff for me, I mean, that signing, if we do stay up, I'm looking at that Longstaff signing. If he's putting performances like this in, and it could very well be home games Tanaka, away games Longstaff, or whatever you want to do. I just think that's a canny signing. That's such a canny signing. He was everywhere today. I'd love to see what he's run kilometres wise, because I'm sure it'll probably be top performer again today.
Get a heat map out.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they'll probably never put a heat map out again, will they? But I just thought he was everywhere. He was intelligent, and exactly what we need. And I just feel, for me, I mean, it's frustrating because, you know, with Stack, you know, he's meant to be the golden boy in that midfield. He's meant to be the one who's got that ability. You kind of see it, but at times it's a bit slack. And I'm just thinking, he's meant to be the one that's meant to elevate this midfield a little bit. But, you know, Longstaff, I thought he was absolutely terrific today.
Well, people were quick to write Longstaff off, weren't they, after like a few minutes of his first performance, because he's called Sean Longstaff and it's not very sexy or exciting. Like, the fan narrative when it comes to certain players is just wild. And I mean, when the signing got made, it always felt to me like a very shrewd move, really smart signing. Is it sexy? No. But is a very experienced Premier League midfielder that's going to make a massive contribution to this side. Like, very experienced, very knowledgeable, and a good player. Like, just a really good player. So, yeah, I mean, it'd have been on for goal of the season if that Worldie had gone in the first half. I thought it was great, mate. I thought it was brilliant.
What do we do in terms of the creativity, the goal scoring? I mean, I was looking at some of the results. I mean, I've got to kind of probably refresh myself on some of the results today, actually, because I've kind of zoned out from it. But it all seemed very low scoring. Didn't feel like there were, you know, many goals flying in anyway. Is it a concern? Obviously, I mean, you're talking about 3 games without a goal now. You know, the context is we've played 2 Champions League, you know, teams. But I felt we had the chances. I mean, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, that chance that he has, that header.
Probably offside, isn't
it? But I just thought that's your bread and butter in it, mate. That's what, you know, put that away. But yeah, you're probably right. It could have been offside, but it's a bit of a conundrum, isn't it? I mean, it's one of those. It's how are we going to fix that? Is it just a case of, look, if we get more luck today, that could have been 2-0 Leeds, and I would have been, I could have looked at that and gone, you know what, because we were on it. But, you know, obviously they bring Kevin on. I mean, I know some people are saying that's the difference today. They brought Kevin on, and he did make a big impact.
It probably is.
He looked, you know, you could see it. You know, we bring Dan James on, who gets injured. Nonto in, you know, where's the Nonto fanboys? Did basically bugger all when he came on. Didn't have a lot of time, but, you know.
Kevin has a goal there, doesn't he? That leads to the corner, that leads to the goal. And it can be them differences. So.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, in terms of, you know, we go to Wolves next. I mean, how important is it that we see a goal there, first of all?
I mean, I'm just going to bring this comment up as we chat about this, because I think it's a really good point. Like, I've not got my head buried in the sand with it. It's definitely a problem, but I'm seeing the signs that we can create more than the stats are saying.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? Like, away from home, we need to be tight. We need to be resolute. We need to be difficult to beat first and foremost, and then play for odd opportunities. You know, let's just say the Calvert-Lewin chance is onside and goes in. The game is different, and we have to be very clinical. We do, because we can't set up in a way that's going to create us a hatful of chances, because we will then get picked apart and we'll lose games. We've seen this before. We've seen this under Marcelo. You know, outside of the first season, that's what happened. We played with an expansive system that allowed us to create loads of chances. In the first season, we were very, very clinical.
Yeah.
Pat was extremely clinical in comparison to his usual kind of, stats. The second and third season, we weren't, and we couldn't defend. So, you know, you've got to build from the back. So I don't mind this approach that we're taking. As for this comment from Nige, specifically, can't just rely on Ellen Road results. Yes, we can. Like, in the nicest possible way, like, Nige, we genuinely can. You know, I made the point the other day about Forest only winning 1 away game all season in the season that they stayed up. you very well can rely on your home form, and we do need to rely on our home form. And I do think that you'll see, come the end of the season, our home form will probably have us sitting 8th, 9th, 10th, and our away form will have us sitting 17th, 18th, 19th, and we'll probably finish 15th or 16th as a consequence. So I actually think the complete opposite to what Nigel says. I think Ellen Road is absolutely vital, and today we get out of games like today most of the time with a point, and you're saying winner.
Yeah. Can I just draw your attention as well now? Marco Silva. I was more interested to see what Marco Silva said about this game than Daniel Farker, actually, because Marco Silva is one of them. He's a kind of typical Portuguese manager where it's like Mourinho-esque, where it's like us against the world and very snipey and doesn't give away a lot, like, but he's even said, I'm going to read this, difficult to break them down. Tempo and dynamic was not at the level to disorganise them. Better chances for Leeds. Tempo different second half. Rodrigo and Lukic had chances. Fortunate to win game where we did. Not the best for Daniel or Leeds boys, but this is the game. I would challenge anyone to find quotes from Marco Silva when they've when they've won a game anywhere akin to that.
Great.
When they played Scum, Man United, it was like, no, we deserve to win. Like, Marco Silva will big his team up.
They deserve to be Chelsea.
Watching that, he can't watch that game and say that Fulham you deserve to win that. Leeds were excellent today. We were excellent.
It's not super sexy and exciting. Again, Browney, like, I'm not the oracle, but I seem to say this a lot. I said before a ball was kicked, I thought a lot of games would look like this. Really slow, dead disciplined, hard to beat, lack of goals. I said to you, I think we'd be lucky to score 30 goals this season. I think I said that to you before the season started. But we're still capable of staying up having scored that amount of goals because of the way that we're setting up and defending. And again, it's hard to watch it and appreciate it if you just watch the football as a... This sounds, again, so patronising, but ball goes in net, yay. Ball goes in our net, no. Like, that's how a lot of people watch the game. They don't watch what's happening. Like, the Premier League is boring. It's boring most of the time. It is. The games are tactical chess matches of football. It's not like the Championship in which we can just dictate the way that we play. I mean, I'd argue that we probably played a little bit like this in the Championship. We just had such a level up in terms of quality that we were able to create them moments where we overloaded and we could dictate more in the further forward in the pitch. But we were very, very disciplined. We were very pragmatic in the Championship. Look at how many 2-0 wins we had. Like, we didn't go all out, did we? We kept control of the game. So I think Silva's spot on, and we will get a lot of points playing like that. We'll get the points that we need. I'm telling you, this team stays up. I think it'll be, game week 34, 35 before it's confirmed. I think we'll have some sweaty times. I think we'll lose a lot of games. I sent you a screenshot of Football Manager the other day, didn't I? Sorry, I'm rattling now, but I sent you a screenshot of Football Manager the other day. It just so happened that Leeds were on a terrible run of results when I sent you this screenshot, and I said it was in February, and we'd lost 21 games, and we were 17. And fans will be going ballistic. We lost 21 games by February, but we're still not in the bottom three because that's all that you can. Like, as long as you're picking up enough points, you're gonna lose a lot of games. Of games.
100%, absolutely. Thank you for your comments. We're going to go through some comments now. Get a general take. Gavin, our first goal from open play. Fair enough, mate. Johnny, spot on here. We cannot get 2 down this season. We are going for 8 to 10 wins and scraping draws. Yeah, draw today would have been. Oh, I'd have been so happy. Let's have a look. What else we're saying? Let's have a look. Bournemouth had their best ever start to a Premier season. Now 3rd. Yeah, we'll see. Tyler Adams up next season. It's. It's a real. Do you know what? It's because all week I thought ahead of this game, Jess. I just thought, and we discussed it on Thursday morning. I said my heart says we're gonna possibly get a point, but my head was like a loss, and I was kind of waiting for a game where Fulham were the better team, And Fulham looked like they were the Premier League established team that they are. And we were going to kind of struggle and be away from home and, a bit all over the place. And it didn't really turn out like that. We looked composed. We looked we just turned up. We just simply turned up. And there's a lot of encouragement to be taken from that. I think, and I know when this kind of dies down, because I'm very kind of emotional about it at the minute, I think in a couple of days I'll reflect and go, I'm delighted at how well we played. And on another day, we'd nick that, we'd win that, we'd get points. But I'm also aware we played Wolves next week. Have Wolves lost again today, I think?
I lost 1-0.
I've lost 1-0 again today. We play Wolves next week away. And, I just hope we get our just desserts. I hope we get our just desserts. That's kind of where I'm at. But at the minute, I'm frustrated. I just think we're just so unlucky. we're just so unlucky with that one. It's a real kick in the bollocks. I can't deny it. It's a real kick in the bollocks.
It is, mate. It is. And ultimately, if we carry on playing like that, we'll pick the points up that we need. We will. The difficulty is going to be carrying on playing like that all season.
Yeah.
Because that's not easy. Like, I think people really kind of downplay how ordinary we've made Fulham and Newcastle look over the last two games, because we want to focus as a Leeds fan on how poor we are in the attacking third, because that's what people do. They just concentrate on the negatives. But the fact is that we've made two really good, solid Premier League sides, especially Newcastle, look extremely ordinary. We were really. I thought we were better today than we were against Newcastle.
Yeah, I did.
And without creating loads, but I've seen enough of a sign to say, if we just take advantage of them few moments that we do create, we're gonna score, and then we will have the defensive solidity to keep them out. Because again, for a free-own goal today, we don't concede, and that's 3 clean sheets out of 4. That's massive in the Premier League. I think that'd have been some sort of weird record.
Yeah.
3 clean sheets out of the first 4 for a newly promoted side. The own goal that we scored today, I just read a minute ago, it's the first time, it's only the second time in Premier League history that 90th plus minute own goal has led to a 1-0 victory, and it's the first time in 30 years that's happened. And then there's Leeds United, right? Like that's the way that it goes.
Leeds United.
But it's just one of them things. Like, I'm choosing to laugh at it because I don't want to, again, after we've played well, even though we've lost, feel crappy about it, because there's going to be times this season where we do play poorly and lose. We're going to lose a lot of games. I've made my peace with that. So, is Wolves a must-win? No, it's not. I really don't think it is. Like, I think it's another good opportunity to make sure that we take points off one of the teams that are going to be in and around it. Of course, we need to start picking up points wherever we can. We need to get the points on the board. But is next week, the 5th game of the season, a must-win game? No, it's really not. It's really not.
No. And I can only compare it. I mean, obviously, this might be my own kind of mentality around it, but I can't help looking back to the last time we got relegated from the Premier League, because you look to history to kind of think of, to give you some help in the present. Is there something we can look at from the past that's going to help us now? And I remember those Marsh performances with Leeds were absolutely terrible. After the first 3 games, we were terrible against Brighton, we were terrible against Brentford, terrible against Leicester. We never put a performance close to what we've done today under Marsh at any point until we beat Liverpool away. That was like 3 months after his last win or something.
Even that game we weren't very good in.
Very lucky.
Go back and watch it. They missed an unbelievable amount of chances that day. You're spot on, mate. I mean, I remember us going to Brighton.
We were terrible, weren't we? We were absolutely awful.
Brighton away, we were so bad. So bad. I mean, the Forest game when he got sacked, the game after he got sacked just after that game, we played really well in the first half. Really well. And we ended up, I think we 0-0 last time, we ended up conceding right at the end of the first half against another play, but second half we were terrible.
Shite second half.
so few and far between performances that you can say we were good in. I mean, the beginning of the season, Chelsea at home, we played all right. But again, if you watch highlights back of that game, go and have a look at how many chances that Chelsea missed before we scored.
Yeah. Wolves, the opening game that season, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been oh dear. A shout out for Carl Darlow today. Comes in, a lot of pressure. Obviously, last time we saw him against Sheffield Wednesday, and, you know, the fans, like, he made this mistake against Sheffield Wednesday in the cup. People like hone onto it like this is this guy's entire career. One mistake against Sheffield Wednesday in a cup we couldn't give two tosses about, and people go, "Oh, you can't play." Oh, it's like he was absolutely spot on today. He was absolutely spot on today. For me, look, fine, absolutely fine. His kicking was good. He came out and claimed. He made some great saves. I mean, for me, there was nothing. I thought it was absolutely exceptional today.
I thought it was good today.
I thought it was really good, really good.
If they were considered both as number ones, you'd say it was his shirt to lose. Like, he will, after Wolves, he'll probably come back out, right? But I thought it was really, really good today. Like, he came and claimed. His kicking was good. His decision making with the ball out of the back was good. He was getting the weight of the passage right. And the save that he made from Kevin was a worldie. Really, really good save. Really, really good save. It was dipping. It was a really awkward height for him. So yeah, really, really happy with Darlow today. And I don't think it's a position that we've got to worry about, mate. I really don't.
No. Well, the thing is as well is because with Perry, I wanted him to get like 15 to 20 games unbroken run, to really kind of get his confidence and get used to it and everything like that, which I think he needs. I think it's a bit of a problem, actually, that it's a bit stop-starting now for him. I think it's a bit of a problem that all of a sudden he's going to be dropped in against Bournemouth at home, which is a bloody hard game. I think that's a bit, that's not what you want, really.
He might not.
No, he might not. But, exactly. I mean, Darlow, if Darlow goes and performs at Wolves next week, there's an argument, actually, like Bijol, it's an uncomfortable discussion where you're going, you're our big signing, but it's not guaranteed.
You've got to earn it, haven't you? I shouldn't do this well soon, but I like looking at what comes through on Twitter to obviously have different things to talk about. And again, just like the fans are just mad. Like, I'm sorry, what is he thinking? What effing woeful? What is he thinking? Another that looks good going forward but can't defend. Guess who that is talking about? Gabby Goodmanson.
Oh my God.
Now, don't get me wrong. Like, I don't know what he's doing with where he puts his head to then head that into the goal in the way that he does. But it's a freak moment. Gabby had an unbelievable game today. I thought it was brilliant down that left-hand side. Going forward, great. Defensively, he was excellent. He had who came off for Adama? Oh, Harry Wilson, wasn't it? Absolutely pocketed Harry Wilson. Harry Wilson didn't give him
nothing.
Nothing. And then Adama came on. He did all right against Adama as well, who's known as the fastest or one of the fastest and strongest players in the Premier League. I know he's not great, but he still dealt with him fine. Like, he had a great game. Fans cause themselves so much pain and suffering. I can't even tell you they do.
It's bizarre. I mean, it's getting to a point where I'm just like, it's bizarre. I'm just like, close down the app because it's just, I can't read these takes anymore. Daniel Farker comment here coming through that Baron Cross has said, heartbroken and I feel for the players, better side in a tight first half. Fulham under more pressure to take risks. We did not allow one real chance late on. Feel for the lads because we deserved a third clean sheet and 5th point. And he's absolutely 100% right. If you're sat there, if you're a Farker doubter, if you're a Farker outer, tell me who is coming in and setting us up to do better than what we did today. Who? With the players available, the squad available, who is coming in and improving that from today?
You have to, if you're gonna be offering your opinion online or in any sort of social setting, be able to say, you know what, hands up, I got it wrong, right? The back and forward that I have on Twitter from time to time tonight, as an example, Pascal was the first thing that people brought up to me in response. I said to him, he had a good game today. Yeah. But they're firing it at me, expecting me to argue it. No, I'm going to tell you exactly as it is. based on the facts that are in front of us. And the facts that are in front of us is that Daniel Farke is doing a really good job with the way that this side is setting up at the beginning of this season. Arsenal aside. But Arsenal will do that to a lot of teams this season. Teams that are better than us. So you have to just say it as it is, as you're seeing it. Like, it's as simple as that. And anything else is just agenda. And I would rather people just say, I hate Daniel Farke. I'm not going to say that he's anything good because I hate him. Because that's what it is. It's the same with Brendan. It's the same with Jack. And it's the same with whoever else that these people just kind of can't help but criticise with.
Do you know what I think it is with Farke? I think there's a feeling that, and I think people think there's something better out there for us. There's a manager out there with a magic wand who can do more than what Farke is doing. And I'm looking at it going, really? Really? I mean, did you watch today? Did you watch Newcastle? He said he wanted more attacking prowess. We had nobody to come on today who's done it. Nonto, he's got no assists, no goals. Mm-hmm. All this clamour, you're chanting his name in the stand when another player's playing his position. He's done fuck all this season. He's done fuck all. What is this situation where we're like, oh, Nonto? Ramazani played, handful of games last season. It's absolutely mental. It's mental. It just,
I agree.
Honestly, mental.
I agree. I mean, for me, I completely agree. Again, I know that Nonto's more exciting than Jack Harrison, but when I look to the bench and I think about the way to manage that game, I bring Jack Harrison on and over Willie Nonto, and that's what Daniel Farke did. Like, and again, you are looking at it through this tinted visor. If you don't agree with that, I'm not saying that you have to just agree with my opinions because of my opinions or Daniel Farke's opinions because there is opinions. You, of course, can have an opinion. But if that is the assessment that you're coming to, you just don't understand what you're talking about. It's as simple as that. Like, I can't say it any straighter.
No, absolutely. In terms of where that leaves us then, Jay, obviously, I mean, it's, we're still very early doors. Have you seen enough, though, from today where you think we'll be competitive going forward? I mean, obviously, we've talked about the kind of goal situation. I think, Aston Villa haven't scored again today, so still Aston Villa are below us. Just one thing with Calvert-Lewin, because I don't know if you saw the square ball had, I think it's Johnny Cooper on, who's like a stats guy. And apparently Dominic Calvert-Lewin has the worst underperformance for XG of any striker in the Premier League of the last 5 years. And it's and it's one of those you're going, I thought the 49ers were about stats. I thought they were a data model. So is that part of the data not come through? But, and it's one of them, it's like you can see, the movement and everything, but like the header, I was like, I mean, have we really got that goal scorer there in the team, do you think?
Well, if we go down, it'll be because of a lack of goals. It will 100% be down to a lack of goals. I've seen enough in the way that we're setting up and the transition, the potential to keep possession, to say that we'll probably be very competitive and we'll be able to keep clean sheets. But again, if you're going to look at today from a negative standpoint, even though we concede the goal in the way that we do, a team that have got a little bit more in the final third are already 1-0 up at that point, or even 2-0 up, and then the freak goal doesn't matter. Yeah, so you could have that argument towards what we've got within the ranks. We definitely have a bit of an issue when it comes to creating chances and then scoring chances. I mean, it's not just Dominic Calvert-Lewin, but it's the players around him and where the goals are going to come from. We don't really have goals coming from midfield. I thought Sack might be the one to do that, but I'm starting to calm the way that I'm feeling towards Anton. I think he's got real potential, but I see deficiencies in his game as well now. I think after seeing Okafor give a performance like he did today, I'm not saying it was blinding, but there was a sparkling of dust there, of X Factor dust. He's going to be vital to us creating and scoring chances. He is. He's got that Manor Solomon about him.
Yeah.
I personally don't think he's as good as Manor Solomon from what I'm seeing, but I think he could be. if he continues to. Because we have to remember that he's not played a lot of football, and he's also just bleeding into the squad and all the rest of it. And the same for Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Like, they're going to take time, and it is a risk. It is definitely a risk. So, but if we're being straight, Brownie, right? Like, so today, Fulham didn't play particularly well, but Muniz was our number one target in the number 9 position. Did he play well? No. He had one header that I would say was comparable to Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
Nothing outstanding, was there? Nothing that made you go, oh God, I wish we'd signed him.
I thought he looked a little bit podgy, if I'm honest. I didn't think he looked in great shape. So have we just, at least with Dominic Calvert-Lewin, we know that he's a competitive Premier League striker. We know that. It's just about keeping him fit. XG says that he doesn't score enough of his chances. Right, fine, cool, get it. But Joe Perreault's got no Premier League XG. No. Josh Sargent has got basically no Premier League XG. These are the other strikers that we would maybe have been in the hunt for. Everybody hung the hat on Rodrigo Muniz without really knowing whether he'd be the right person for us or not. He had a purple patch for one season at Fulham. I liked the signing as a potential as well, but I weren't going to spend the money that Fulham were talking about. So I just think we have to just deal with it with a certain amount of perspective. We are going to see a lot of stinky games, and we need to make sure more often than not, or enough to get the points on the board, that we come out on the right side of them 1-0s. We will have weeks where we see another game like that and we get the rub of the green and the goal goes in that way. We will.
Well, that's it, isn't it? When you're looking at it as well, you're looking at that rub of the green. I mean, I'm just looking at Sunderland versus Crystal Palace, and Sunderland have got a terrific point against Palace away. I mean, that's a really good point. But you look at the stats, no shots on target from Sunderland, less possession, less shots, less passes, less everything, and have managed to get a point. No shots on target. I mean, it's just frustrating, isn't it? It's just frustrating, really. You just, sometimes the sun shines on you, doesn't it? We all remember that Ipswich pipping Leeds to automatic in the Championship, where it was just like, oh my God, the chips are just falling for Ipswich every single time, and where it's just not happening for us. Sometimes it's just kind of destiny, innit? It feels
like. Man. It's just sports.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's bloody cruel when you've got that much attachment to it, but it is just sports sometimes. Like that moment that Goodmanson had there certainly from a Leeds perspective anyway, would never have happened in the 50th minute. It just wouldn't. It always happened in the 93rd. When it's just too late to kind of put it right. It is just sport, but I'm almost already over it. Like, I really wanted a point out of today's game, but I expected nothing. Me and you said on Thursday, we want to see a performance that we can be thinking, okay, see the building blocks. And we got that. We did. Yeah. I know that we need the points. I know that. But we're 4 games in. We're not going to go down because Goodmanson scored an own goal in the 93rd minute in game week 4. We're not. So I'm choosing to, again, see the positive side of this and say, look, Farker's getting this right with what he's got. I do think that there's going to be the limitations in the attacking front that are going to make this tricky. But that's why the 49ers expect us to finish 16th, guys, or 17th, or whatever they said the other day. It is. So
they said it. They absolutely said it, and that's how it's going to kind of fall out.
How many losses did 17th finish on last season? I'm just going to
good question. Let's have
a look. Just out of interest, Premier League table. What were it? 2024. Last season. Let's have a look. So it was Tottenham.
Tottenham had 22 losses.
Tottenham lost 22 times and finished on 38 points. And I mean, last season we were a freak in terms of what the bottom 3 needed to stay up, but 38 is usually in and around good. So 22 losses.
The only thing I would say is, based on what we've seen, how well the promoted teams are doing, are we going to see a different requirement this season?
100% we are. We're going to see one of them seasons where it goes late and there's probably, 2, maybe 20th will be gone, 19th and 18th will then be able to stay up with 17th, 16th and 15th all go vying for it with 2 or 3 games to go, I think. Even Leeds could be involved in it right to the wire, for sure.
What do you think of mentality-wise a result and a kind of last gasp defeat does to a group mentally? Because to kind of not get anything from a game where you've done so much? Is there any risk of that kind of being a bit of a domino effect and a little bit of belief diluting?
Yeah, but that's on the coaching team, Daniel Farke specifically, to make sure he's man managing the team. We've seen this before, other versions of it. I'd say Sheffield Wednesday were probably one of them. There'd have been a little bit of it after that because, they were the kids, and we saw a great performance against Newcastle. We saw it last year when we got smacked by Middlesbrough, and then we came back and got a great point against West Brom. We've seen it after the reaction at Arsenal to come back and, dust ourselves off after a 5-0 thumping. Yeah. We've seen it after a playoff final loss. I'm just picking out a few for Daniel Farke, to be able to rebuild that team. We've seen it after Jorginho Rutter leaving and the disappointment around that. We saw it at the beginning of the first season under Daniel Farke as well, where, we didn't get off to a great start and he kept the team in the right way. Like I always watch the inside training videos.
Yeah.
I don't know how much you can always take from them, but I always try and read into what I'm seeing. And when they were playing like the on pitch games where when they score they go on to the next pitch, they're all having so much fun and genuinely look like they're enjoying each other's kind of working relationship together, but company as well. Like it looks like to me, and it feels like the team are all going in that same direction. I saw at the end of the game, just before the final whistle blew, Ethan Ampadu fuming, kicked like a water ball at the side of the pitch because he knew the game had gone. When he gets back in the dressing room, I'm almost willing to bet that he'll be the first person to have an arm around Gabby. Look, it's done. Don't worry about it. It's one of these moments. We move on. It doesn't feel like a dressing room that would allow that to fester and be a problem. I think, they'll already be making plans to make sure that we go and try and get the points against Wolves. Personally, that's how I see it anyway.
Yeah, I agree. I get that sense that that's the kind of group that we've got there. We've achieved so much already, and hopefully they can carry on that way. Looking ahead, then obviously, I'm just looking at the table now. Obviously, it's very, very early days. We can't read too much into it at all. But we're sitting in 15th. Nearly at the 49ers kind of predicted place there. But going into that Wolves game next week, obviously Wolves lost again today, but, Wolves are going to be looking at that fixture against Leeds next week, again, similar to Fulham, who were in the relegation zone at the start of the day and going, right, that's who we need to that's going to be our first win. That's going to be our first win. They're going to be looking at us like that, aren't they?
Absolutely. Yeah, I said to you the other day, I'd have bitten your hand off with 2 points. Out of the 2 games, because I think that would have been a massive return from them 2 away fixtures. And now I'm sat in a position where I'd bite your hand off with 1. I still feel exactly the same about it. Like, we could have won today if the chips had just fallen a little bit differently. Hopefully, we're in a position where we say that against Wolves and we can hopefully take 3 points. But I would snap your hand off with a point in any away Premier League game. I really would.
Yeah, absolutely. I know Gav said before that Wolves have played pretty well today. I'm like, Gav, which game were you watching, Leeds or Wolves? Played at the same time, come on.
We all know that Gav don't watch the games anyway. Just have a look on stats and...
I'm just going to have a quick look and see if there's been any more quotes from Daniel Farke tonight. And he must be so frustrated. It's so unlucky, but no, it doesn't look like nothing else.
He'll be thick tonight because he's deserved a point there. Points are hard to come by for a newly promoted team in the Premier League, and to have that moment go like that, it's just a bit sickening. But people are already hashtagging LUFC in pictures of Nuno. Oh God, my brain's going to explode. Like, guys, please. I like Nuno. I called for Nuno when we got Gracia. Yeah. I remember it well. I like him. But the football will look no different than what it is doing right now under Nuno. If anything, it'll be more negative with this side because we just don't have the personnel to look that differently going forward. So what are you like Browney said earlier, what are you expecting another manager to do?
Players, guys, is there something today that I'm having a look through now and I can see similar comments saying, how can you play Aronson and James over Nonto? It's just crazy. You just wonder if people watch the
I
game.
will close it down as soon as we're done chatting and not look at it again until next week, because it's literally lunacy. Like, I end up beating myself up because I think, that these takes are just so stupid and moronic. Why are you even entertaining yourself with them? And I'd recommend anybody with a sane, safe mind do exactly the same, because social Twitter especially is horrendous for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we wrap up then, Jay Sammy, it's just one of those, you just take it on the chin. It's the Premier League. We knew there were going to be days like this where you don't get your just desserts. I mean, we've had that a few times before. Hopefully we'll get the rub of the green. So hopefully someone will head it in for us at one point and we'll get the 3 points. I don't think there's much more we could have done today, really, to be honest, Jess. I feel like we've left everything out there on the pitch today. I'm certainly not looking at that going, there was any problems with performance or anything. Maybe you look at individuals, you might look at Stack and go, okay, I'm expecting a bit more or whatever, but you're probably at nitpicking stage by then. I'm looking at that going, we couldn't have done anything else. It's just one of them to take in the chin. I'll be over it in a couple of days. It'll be out of the system and it'll be, full steam ahead to Wolves. And hopefully, if we perform like we did today, we'll get our just desserts.
We're going to be hard to beat, mate. 9 straight Premier League losses in the capital. It's London.
Yeah.
And I'll finish on this point. It could be worse. You could be Huddersfield, who got thumped away at Bradford today. And you could also be Sheffield United, who got thumped 5-0 by Ipswich and have lost 5 out of 5 after sacking Chris Wilder. So, let's just... I mean, would you at the beginning of the 4 games have taken 4 points?
Yeah, considering who we've played, yeah, absolutely. Because I probably would have said we wouldn't have beaten Everton.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought we'd have beaten Everton, to be honest.
Yeah. So
or Fulham away, or Newcastle or Arsenal.
let me ask you that. This is another question. If you could stop the Premier League season right now with us finish on a point per game, would you? Yeah. Would you finish on 38 points?
Yes, I think so.
Would you risk it?
That'll still be, obviously that's been miles enough in the last couple of seasons. I think so, but
it's a good question, isn't it?
I think my only problem is my problem is when I look at that bottom, Wolves have done this before a couple of years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They absolutely lost the first 6 games, and then were mid-table by Christmas.
Yeah.
Aston Villa, they're not going to stay in the relegation zone.
No.
Brentford, possibly. Burnley, circling the drain. Yeah, you could see them too doing it. But then it's Man City in 16th.
Yeah.
So I'm worried from that perspective. Obviously, I mean, Sunderland have already got 7 points. It's really tricky. It's going to be a hard one this season. I'm not sure, but I probably would. But I would have definitely done that before the start of the season and having seen what I've seen. But what about you? Would you take the 38?
Probably, because I think, like you, I think it'll probably be just enough to stay up, but I think it'll be close.
It feels like it'll be closer.
Yeah, I think 17th and 18th will be 35 to 40 points. I think they'll be in and around that bracket. I think it'll go to the last game of the season. I don't think it'll be...
This is a question for you. What do you think about luck of fixtures? Because I don't know if you've ever done this on Football Manager, where you're like a newly promoted team and you get to Premier League and your first games are like Man City and Liverpool away or something. And you lose, and your players lose morale, and all of a sudden you can't beat anyone. And it's just like this kind of... Because I'm looking at the fixtures for us. I mean, our next 2 home games are Bournemouth and Tottenham. I'm like...
But you know what, Browney, right? I always look at the Premier League. The thing is, everybody's difficult. Right? Like Fulham away is a difficult game and they're probably going to finish 13th. Right? So when you look at the fixtures, it's really hard to then kind of comprehend when can be good about. I suppose like a decent run of home games where you get back-to-back wins.
Yeah.
They're the pockets that you really look for. Like I say, I know we've brought Football Manager up a few times in this conversation. But I was looking because I was looking to move into the Leeds job on the game. Like Leeds had lost like 8 out of 9 games from November to January. They're like eight losses in a row, and they still weren't out of touch because you lose a lot of games when you're in the Premier League towards the bottom of the table. So yeah, I don't know if the fixtures as such make that much difference. I think the look of the draw of what you have when you come back from international breaks does. I think the Champions League or European fixtures and whether you play them teams that are obviously good enough to be in them competitions directly after them games makes a difference.
Yeah.
And I don't know where we fall in that kind of conundrum.
Well, but 2 Champions League games, before they've even played in it, haven't we?
Yeah, that's my point. So, if we'd have played Newcastle, and I know we do well against it, but if we'd have played Newcastle at home directly after they'd have played whoever, that could have made the difference in which we win the game then. So I think that makes a difference. And I was going to say something else with regards to fixtures as well. What was it now?
God, yeah, I had something.
I can't remember. There was something else I was going to say with regards to when you then can come up against them, but it's gone now anyway. Yeah.
Dan James, just a quick mention on him. Obviously, he's had a mixed start to the season. Went off injured today.
Right whacked, didn't he, from Sanderberger?
It's going to be interesting to see what kind of season develops for James, isn't it? He looked quite lively, I thought, though. That great burst he did where he won a free kick.
The commentary said that Daniel Farker had mentioned during the week that he's not been fully fit this season as of yet. I don't know if you heard that.
Yeah.
It looks like that, doesn't it? It's always looked like that. So hopefully, it's not too bad. I think it'll have just been impact, but maybe not. Maybe he had actually pulled up. Hopefully he comes back and he can kind of find full form because we do need him. We need him firing. So yeah, but away from home, I'm all about the Brendan bus. Put him in there.
Well, yeah. I mean, it kind of goes back to what Neville said, isn't it? Do you have an away team and a home team? And, that's kind of true.
We need Noah to do the business down the other side. That's where the creativity is going to come from. Along with Gabby, we need Calvert-Lewin to be chipping in enough with goals. We do need to start putting the ball in the back of the net. That goes without saying. We need to the set piece conversation. We need to make more from set pieces.
That's exactly what I was going to say earlier. Did we do enough from some great situations today? I mean, there was one where probably the most dangerous one. Harrison whipped one in and Stroik was just kind of below it. It had just been floated a little bit more, but apart from that, it was pretty non-threatening, wasn't it?
Yeah.
When are we going to start to use all this height? When are we going to start to be a bit more threatening from this kind of thing?
Yeah, they weren't enough. They definitely weren't enough.
No.
But hopefully that'll come over time.
Yeah. And Okafor, for me, it's one of them. He looks like he's got that extra bit of technical ability, that extra bit of sauce in him. You can see it, can't you? It's just going to be interesting to see if he can go full pelt and if he can actually make something happen.
He's the one that's got that little bit of difference. You can just see that he's got a bit of sauce. I don't know whether he's of the level that we need.
No.
When you compare him with Kevin as an example, you could instantly see that difference. But he's what we've got, and he's probably going to be the most creative spark that we've got, certainly in January. So we need him to really hit the heights that he can. He's well thought of, isn't he? You don't get a move to AC Milan if you're a mug. You don't.
No, exactly. And apparently, I was reading an article in The Athletic, he trains with like an Olympian sprinter and stuff, and he's like really kind of built himself up over the last few months. So you're like, okay.
He's a big lad.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's bulked out apparently as well.
He's a big lad.
I've had to go on Leeds Live for some Farker comments. I don't know what's going on with the journals on Twitter, but there's nothing coming through. But I've got some stuff from Leeds Live that Farker has said now. This is what he said about scoring. So he says it's not a concern. We're not thin on numbers. We just need a bit more quality in numbers. I can't expect something from a player he's not capable to deliver. I like to have an offensive approach. We dominate a game versus Everton and many parts versus Newcastle. We don't park the bus, but I can't expect my player to produce so much end products as they did in the Championship. I have to adapt to the reality. Dream football is possession, but I have to make sure we are rock solid.
Spot on.
Yeah,
Spot on.
so it's just, yeah, exactly. On Darlow, we all love Carl. Doesn't crack under pressure, means we can give Perry enough time to recover. I'm not 1% worried when Carl is used. Love that. I thought that's spot on. Yeah,
I thought it was really good today. Really good.
Yeah, I did. The step up to the Premier League, Nonto, James Aronson, etc. were called useless in the Championship, outstanding in Premier League, but they still have a point to prove in the Premier League. Not like this team outstanding at Championship level. We can cut Premier League teams open in away games. We need to show tightness and fighting spirit. We don't have individual quality like some clubs. Not conceding goals and chances will be the key. So it's going to be on a tight thing, isn't it? It's going to be a tight.
Spot on. You know, like, again, I mean, I'm not a massive fan of Joe Bellingham, right? But Sunderland get promoted and they instantly have massive offers for Joe Bellingham, or they're key players. Esteve, Trafford,
Yeah,
at Burnley, like we didn't have them. We had a sum of its part team that were put together by a really good technical, tactical plan, and that's what made the difference. And that's why we were the best team in the division. You know, we were the best team in the division in a large part because of Daniel Farke. We lost the X Factor. We lost Jorginho Rutter. We lost Chris Somerville. We lost Archie Gray. You know, they were our diamonds.
No, it was in spite of Farke.
In spite of Farke. I've said this before, but our diamond last season was Manor Solomon, and we lost him as well. Yeah. You know, he was the only player really that could have gone on to get that big move. And like, people want to kind of skirt over this as well. He got a big move. He's ended up at Villarreal, who were a top La Liga side.
Yeah.
You know, it was on the verge of signing for Crystal Palace, who have just won the FA Cup.
Well, I mean, not to get too far ahead of ourselves, but I did think this is potentially kind of an issue Leeds have next summer for PSR is who we're going to sell then. Like, who are we going to sell then? I mean, unless, I mean, I don't want to, get him sold or anything, but if I'm a kind of, I don't know, Newcastle or, I don't know, one of the top teams, I'm looking at Ampadu and going, he could do a job.
Jayden Bogle.
What? Bogle? Yeah. They could do it, British players.
I think Jayden Bogle especially, because the team, Jayden Bogle will look even better in a really good team because they play with attacking fullbacks, and Jayden Bogle can defend. It's an absolute fallacy that he couldn't defend. Like outside of game week 2 in the Championship, we've seen a good defender. He's excellent going forward, and I could imagine Jayden Bogle playing for certainly a Villa. Like, think about like Matty Cash. Matty Cash as an example. Like, he could be an upgrade on Matty Cash in another season or two of Premier League football. So, but yeah, you're right. Like, you look through the team and you think, well, where are we going to actually then redevelop the team through? Because you have to hope that Jacobiol and Anton Stack kind of then extrapolate their value in the way that they're hoping that they will.
And they're a bit older as well, aren't they? They're 26. It's not like they're 23, and it's because Georgie, Somerville, and Gray were so obviously sellable targets. But after that, looking at it, going, I don't know about what else there.
Yeah, you're right.
Farke on confidence for Wolves next week after a good display. Each and every away game will be tough. We need to show the same workload. I take each and every point away from home. It's not like it will be easier because they have a fewer points. Little bit on James as well. Played for Wales on Tuesday, so used a full rested Aronson. Thought he played excellent. Got a hit to his body and was forced to take him off. We'll have to wait for the assessment. And his general thoughts. When you concede such a goal, I feel for the lads, feel really proud. Not the easiest couple of weeks with deadline day and players coming back from injuries. I have no critical word. Sometimes you have to accept football is like this. We will be disappointed, but Monday we go again. And that's fair enough, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fair enough. Lucky Fulham. You've got away with one there. You've got your first 3 points. You've got your first win. You jammy bastards is all I can say. We were great today. At least we've got that. At least we've got a performance to hang his hat on, Jay. It's not just being, like it was last time we were down here.
It's not doom and gloom, mate. It's definitely not doom and gloom.
No, exactly. Good stuff. If everybody's watched along, if you could like the video, please subscribe to the channel, get your comments in as well. After a bit of a bitter pill to swallow, but we go again. We'll see what happens next week. But lots to be positive about. Good performance from the boys, and we go again. I've been Stephen Brown. With me has been Jason Booker. Jason, thank you very much, mate.
Thank you, mate.
We will see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.